All right, we got an update with the Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, Sebastian Fundura drama for your mama in the 154-pound division, as the WBO has said that they are going to order the fight between Terence Crawford and Sebastian Fundura. And they're going to do it this week, which means Terence Crawford will be looking for another opponent for that belt if he fights for it. And guess who's going to be? Guess who is going to get it? Betcha money, not inside sources, but I'll bet you money who that's going to be. And it's going to be somebody that the PBC already said they wanted him to fight. Let's talk about this in this video. All right, welcome back. Let's get with the update. The WBO says that they are going to order Terence Crawford to fight, or order Sebastian Fundura to fight Terence Crawford. They're going to order them to start negotiating. I do believe that they are going to I have to look at the WBO rules, maybe 30 days to come up with a deal, or they're going to strip Sebastian Fundura or go to a purse bid. And if Sebastian Fundura doesn't drop his belt, then they will have a fight against somebody else for Terence Crawford. And that is absolutely what's going to happen. Fundura will more than likely 99% be dropping that belt and fighting with the belt that he has, the WBC, with Errol Spence Jr. Now, what does that leave for Terence Crawford? Well, it leaves Erikson Lubin to be the highest. Well, he is the number 2 guy in the WBO, and he's a guy that fights for an organization that is willing to pay for the fight. Now, before I get into the details, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And man, thank you guys so much for your support in the channel, in the super thanks of videos like this. You guys are the channel sponsors. So I don't have the sponsorships and all of that. So Matteo, Barbara D, definitely my guy. Let me get my guy Dave Williams some thank you, man. Big time support of the channel. Chillville, shout out to you for supporting and sponsoring the last live stream we did. We have a really great community of people around here that allowed us boxing talk to go uncut. So not too long ago, there was talks that Errol Spence Jr., Terence Crawford was getting, offers or people were reaching out to him about a fight for the PBC. Obviously not Errol Spence. Not Errol Spence, but for other fights. And they said, hey, man, how about Erikson Lubin? Now, if you're not familiar with who Erikson Lubin is a guy that is a very good top 154-pound fighter out of Florida. Southpaw, one of the top U.S. amateurs when he was coming out, still a relatively young guy who had a fight ran into, I do believe it was Jermell Charlo, ran into a Jermell Charlo uppercut early in his career and got laid out. After that, he built himself back up. He had another loss I'm telling you, man, Sebastian Fundura can find a way to make opponents look real gruesome when they fighting him, whether it's an inadvertent elbow to the top of the head with Tim Tszyu, or whether it is like that man, the elephant man face, that hematoma that he gave Erikson Lubin right in the middle of his head for that fight. But anyway, Sebastian Fundura beat Erikson Lubin. Erikson Lubin was doing his thing, though, man. He was doing his thing. It was a really, really good fight. Excellent fighter. Erikson Lubin then comes back and beats Ramos. Man, Jesus. I believe it's Jesus Ramos. There's the younger of the Ramos brothers, up and coming up and coming, really strong 154 pounder. That was and Erikson Lubin wins in an upset win. Some people think that I think it was Jesus Ramos was robbed, but I don't think he was. I think it was a really good fight, and people tend to listen to the commentators too much and not pay attention to what's actually going on in the fight, because boxing commentators are working off scripts. So since they work off these scripts, sometimes I think they get ahead of themselves, or they're too busy preparing and trying to figure out exactly what part of their script they need to go to next, and keeps them from actually just watching the fight and knowing what's going on. But regardless, that's kind of where Erikson Lubin has been. So now Erikson Lubin is the number 2 guy in the WBO. And if Terence Crawford doesn't get that fight with Sebastian Fundura, which he's probably not, seeing as Samson Leskovich already said, no, we're going to Dallas. So they are going to be taking Errol Spence Jr. back to Dallas, Texas, in the AT&T Stadium, more than likely. A homecoming for the hometown Dallas hero with another big Mexican, and I mean big old Mexican, to fight there. So it's a really good situation for Sebastian Fundura to be able to present himself to a very, very large number of people, of a constituency that would tend to support him. Errol Spence Jr., same thing. It's peanut butter and chocolate. Get Reese's, they're going to do it. So that leaves Terence Crawford, and what Terence Crawford's going to do. Now, Erikson Lubin does not necessarily fit the bill for Terence Crawford and what Terence Crawford wants, which is another big payday, right, is what he said. However, he fits it just as much as Tim Tszyu did, because Tim Tszyu was not some gigantic payday waiting to happen, and neither is Sebastian Fundura. And because don't even know where that fight's going to be held, but it is an opportunity for Terence Crawford to move up and get the shot at that WBO. The only thing is, then once you're up there with that WBO belt, what you going to do next? You're still going to probably have to do business with the PBC, and I do believe he'll beat Erikson Lubin. But hey, man, Erikson Lubin and Terence Crawford style wise, I like that fight. I would love to see that fight. I hope that fight gets done. Now, of course, the other guy is Josh Kelly. Now, I think it's Josh Kelly, the former 147-pound guy definitely, that's going to be a dog walk between him. But Terence Crawford's going to have to, I think he's going to have to go to the zone to get that fight. Because if I recall correctly, Josh Kelly is a DAZN fighter, so that's going to really depend on how much the DAZN is going to be willing to pay for that fight, because that right there wouldn't include the PBC at all or Amazon at all, and then he would be kind of off on that again on that app that it really doesn't do. They're really not doing anybody a lot of good other than, obviously they're making the money over there, making money, but as far as something where you're going to get a lot of people, a lot of growing your name, or nah, man, that's probably not the lick. So I'm telling you, my bet is that we're going to see Terence Crawford versus Erikson Lubin on the Errol Spence Jr. versus Sebastian Fundura undercard in Dallas, Texas. Man, that would be hilarious, but it would be a huge event and probably what they should do. That's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.